Hello, my friends, and welcome back. Thank you very much for being with me again today. I have about 7 topics for this video. One topic has to do with the Gazprom, with the transfer of cheap Russian gas from Russia through Ukraine, transiting Ukraine into the European Union, and it seems like the Ukrainians are working hard with their masters to strangle certain countries in Europe because they don't economic strangling, that is, because those countries do not follow the party line. That's the first one. Second one, it seems like it's a reverse here. While the Ukrainians are advancing in Kursk, the Russians are advancing in Donetsk, and I will have also maps for that one. Next one. Well, Ukraine is a free country, sovereign country, and Finland is one, Norway is one, but somehow, let's say, Finland doesn't allow Russians to come, or to some crossing the frontier tourists. And the Baltic states, remember, they have a problem with the Russians. They close the border to some tourists. Well, guess what? North Korea opens its borders. But hey, North Korea is a tyrannical state. The other guys are democracies. And as an American, you can't really travel in certain areas on this planet because mommy and daddy forbade you. They impose sanctions on those countries. Therefore, it's illegal to travel, but you're free. Okay, next article. Now, Robert F. Kennedy Jr. allegedly or reportedly, CNN reports, that reached out to Kamala Harris's campaign to offer this deal. I endorse you, but you give me a job in your government if you win. Well, what do you think that is? American politics or just politics? I don't know if that's true. We will read together the article which claims this one. Now we find out Trump is not only a tyrant and a crazy guy and whatever, narcissist, he's also a guy who watches himself get shot over and over again. Is a remote control. That's all he does all day, and he might have PTSD, right, because of the shot. But other guys who identify a certain way, or they come out as they are the courageous ones and they have all the right in the world to watch themselves and identify when they meet you, you know what, I'm like that. I don't give a shit. I look at you as a human being with value in terms of intelligence, physical ability and health, also with heart, courage. These are the main attributes that I'm looking in you. I don't care what you fuck and who you fuck. Unimportant to me. But if your brain functions like that, you already dropped about, I don't know, 50 IQ points in my assessment. Next one. We're going to discuss how Trump is watching himself. Baby doll, I look good. Yeah. All right. Now we find out that Goldman Sachs, like socks or Sachs, says voters are shifting to Kamala Harris. Now, do you know what Goldman Sachs is? No, it's not a polling agency. No, it's not a PAC. No, it's not a political party. It's an investment company. So they tell us that voters are going towards Kamala. In what kind of business are you, baby doll? I will tell you, because I will discuss its donations, campaign donations to the politicians and the parties that when they win, they will have both in their pockets. So let's start with the first article coming from New Voice of Ukraine. And it's titled, Gazprom maintains gas transit to Europe through Sudzha. Now, Sudzha is in Kursk region, and this is where they attack the Ukrainians. And they try to sever this pipeline so the gas doesn't go transfer to, I don't know, let's say Hungary or Slovakia and so on. Remember, the Ukrainians already blocked certain things like other pipelines, saying they closed them because, you know, that's sanctions and we just abide the sanctions and you are our enemies. But they're not hurting the Russians in the first place. They hurt the Europeans. Why? Because when the Ukrainians stop cheap gas and oil flowing to Europe, not European, the Ukrainians, from Russia to Europe, what happens next? The Europeans are going to need, in this case, natural gas. And guess who's going to step in? The Americans with their liquefied natural gas at the premium price 4 times more than the Russians. So therefore, instead of buying a car for $20,000, you're going to buy it for, well, let's say $100,000. Why? Sanctions, baby doll, in the name of freedom. So Ukrainians, I think, are handled by the same guys who are telling them what to do, destroy these guys' cheap gas purchase, and they come and help. You know what it is? But remember when Trump said toward the European Union, and especially Germany, you expose yourself to Russian blackmail if you buy gas from Russia. Guess what? Now you really expose yourself through our maneuvering to our blackmail. But that's never going to happen because we, which is they, don't have a long history of that kind of you do what I want you to do, baby doll, or not, I will place sanctions on you. No. They don't function like that. They're the country and the forces of good over there. Right? And those baboons are elected with the help of, the last article was about what? Oh yeah, the investment company. So let's go back to this article and look at some details where these guys make it, well, it's okay. It's not about that. It's about something else. I think it's about making certain countries vote and go along with their garbage party line, which is Russia must be destroyed. Gazprom is continuing to supply Russian gas for transit through Ukraine via the Sudzha gas measuring station. The Ukrainians did not, you know what we're going to do? We're going to just turn it off, Sudzha, and that's it. Because they would be too obvious that you are, right? They make it, no, we just had a counteroffensive, and as a victim of the counteroffensive, Sudzha will be closed. But we have to advance to defend ourselves, to protect our country, you understand? So it's just a consequences of our war of defending our nation, okay? That's why we had to do it, and Kursk was the right thing to do, exactly Kursk. Instead of saying, no, you know what? Done. Oh, you bad Ukrainians, it's too obvious. All right, that's how you do when you use other people's hands to do your dirty jobs. With the volume confirmed by the Ukrainian side at 42.4 million cubic meters as of August 15th, according to Gazprom representative Sergei Kuprianov, as reported by Papapa. This route remains the only path for transporting Russian gas to Ukraine to Europe. When that goes away, the guys who do not blackmail, do not threaten, do not change regime, do not invade other countries will say, we will help you. We, my man, we will do it. The physical flow from Ukraine to EU remains uninterrupted. Earlier, satellite images of the damaged Sudzha gas measuring station in Kursk Oblast, Russia, through which gas flows to the European Union, were released. On August 14, it was reported that Ukrainian forces had taken control of the city of Sudzha. Got that? Who's gonna lose? The European Union, imbeciles. Move on. Ukrainska Pravda. While Kyiv advances in Kursk, Russians gradually occupy Donetsk Oblast, Politico says today, 15th of August 2024. So, these guys are right here in Kursk, and these guys are in Donetsk, which is right here. Let me show you get my melon out. In Donetsk. So, these guys are gradually doing, this is the 13th right here. Let's see if we can make it better than 13. Maybe if you usually they don't do that, but 15 right there. So, we have, this is the Russian map. So, this is Kursk region, this is Belgorod, and we have here Donetsk. Look at that. Look at that. That is really a little advance. What don't you think? All right. So while these guys doing in Kursk, these guys are doing in Donetsk, right there. Abracadabra. I'm back. I'm going to reach you and grab ya. While the armed forces of Ukraine advance in Russia's Kursk Oblast, Russians are striking back, seizing new territory in Donetsk Oblast, Politico reports. There you have it, my friends. And they show us this little map here, but this is the Kursk area. So we're going to go to the next article. Reuters. North Korea to open border for foreign tourists in December, tour operators say. There's the big leader right there. Now, are we Americans free to go and visit North Korea and see for ourselves how life is over there? I would like to go. I would like to go to Iran. I would like to go to Cuba. I would like to go to Venezuela to really see reality. I don't want to be told by those guys how things are over there because I saw videos from North Korea, from Iran, from Venezuela, and I was like, I have some questions. All right, so I would like to go to North Korea, if I'm allowed to, and go over there and see for myself. And I don't want to be constrained or contained to just where they want me to go. You know, like just downtown, whatever, Pyongyang. No, I want to be allowed to go and see how people in general, like I don't want to go to Shanghai only. I want to go a little bit more to the west of China to see how the most Chinese live. All right, and so on, like in the United States of America. Don't go to only some tourist spots. No, go into Detroit area. Go and see how things are over there. And when I say Detroit, you can go in Detroit downtown, all right, and see how Detroit is. No, Detroit is a fifth world city. All right, let's move on. So these guys are opening up. That's good news. North Korea will resume international tourism to its northeastern city of Myeonbabap in December and possibly the rest of the country, tour company said on Wednesday. Great news. I would like to see that. The move is a sign that the reclusive country is readying to reopen borders to bigger groups of foreign tourists after years of strict COVID border controls. Yeah, that's what it is. All right, now, these guys are just poor. When I see these guys, I see Romanians during the communist times, and they acted almost as idiotic as them. But hey, that's exactly where these guys are getting to. Why? Because people kiss ass. And by doing that, they think, and sometimes it works, they advance their careers. And therefore, they're going to do this to their supervisor as much as they can. And the ones who would tell the truth will be named as haters, as this, as that. And if you guys, or if us, we shut the hell up, these guys will win. And that's how you create the cult of personality with weak people who can't otherwise succeed in life through their own, real abilities on the job, but by praising and sucking every day. And then attacking viciously the ones who dare to point out, hey, that guy, his clothes, he doesn't have any clothes. The emperor has no clothes. The same thing. I saw that in United States of America, big time. Anyway, in state companies where I worked, or departments. Next one. Robert F. Kennedy Jr. reached out to Harris' campaign about administration role in exchange for endorsement. Well, if it's true, I don't mind him trying to get a job somewhere in administration and trying to do good. Because he extended, I think, the same, he contacted the Republicans as well. So if you can't win, let's say I can't win this election, I would like to be, let's say, the defense minister. Or I don't know, the CIA director or FBI director. I would love to do that. Why? Because then I'm going to pick everybody up and I will do my own thing over there. No, defending America, obviously, right? Not my own interest. So when these guys, let's say Robert F. Kennedy has a certain, program in education. If he's allowed to implement that, he reached his goal, at least partly. He doesn't have to be necessarily the president and get everything, supposedly, but gets one piece if he's allowed to. So I see it, not like a weasel who said, I'm going to endorse you, you give me this job. Yeah, it could be seen like that. But if you know you can't win, but you do it and then you're going to get something where you think you're going to impact the country and the people that you love, I don't know, if that is reality, I would accept that. Otherwise, it's just I give you this, you give me this. That's American style politics. Why? I'm not saying it happens only in the United States of America, but politicians in the past seem to have a little bit more character. Nowadays, you rarely see that. You rarely see that. Now, I can quote Mark Twain and others in how the politicians were and have been and so on. But still, if the country has a certain kind of education, a certain kind of character, a certain kind of, values and principles, it's hard for these weasels to come and BS you like that. You're not going to vote for Kamala Harris' laughter, okay? All right, which we also have an article on Kamala Harris's laughter, and I will show you how these are trying to baboonish us in her being infantile into, actually, that's a secret weapon. And that article was given to me, sent to me by my cousin. Thank you very much. All right, so let's go to this Robert F. Kennedy thing. Independent presidential candidate Robert F. Kennedy Jr. campaign reached out to Vice President Kamala Harris's campaign to arrange a meeting about a possible role in her administration if he drops out of the race and endorses her, a Kennedy campaign official and Democratic official told CNN. All right, if true. The approach from Kennedy's team occurred last week, and no meeting between the two candidates materialized, the Kennedy campaign official told CNN. The effort to meet comes weeks after Kennedy and former President Donald Trump met in person during the Republican National Convention in Milwaukee, where the two discussed a possible role for Kennedy in a potential Trump administration in exchange for an endorsement. As I said, if he is motivated by trying to help somehow by being given a little piece of turf in the government, I'm okay with that. But I don't know if that's true or not, and it depends what he's going to be given. Maybe the Department of Transition to DPD. All right, next one. Trump watches himself get shot over and over, and campaign staff fear he has PTSD. Now, if you're shot at, I don't know if you've been shot at. If you're shot at and hit, I think that can affect your psyche, or I think. Now, does he have PTSD? These guys are very fast to apply or assign or find a diagnostic for Trump based on their representation, their interpretation of that. But Joe Biden, remember, for almost 4 years, more than 4 years actually, he was just a sturdy, he continued to be a sturdy 80-year-old man. Nothing wrong with the guy. No Alzheimer, and nothing was stamped on the guy with obvious slips, falling, shaking hands, getting lost. If you think I'm kidding, that phrase is just, So all these things were not obvious. Nobody in this, he's just maybe having that. The people who said, well, he has that, obviously, you're a hater, you're this, you're shaming it. But it was more obvious than Trump. But Trump has PTSD right there. And he's a narcissist. That's the whole point of the title. He's a narcissist. Why? Because he's watching himself get shot over and over. Well, we all have a certain levels of narcissistic traits. If you don't like yourself, then what can I tell you? You have to like yourself. If you don't like yourself, we have a problem. You go in the other category, right? So depression and so on. But you should like yourself if you have evidence that you should like yourself. I mean, if you're a criminal and you like yourself, maybe you can like certain abilities that you have by committing crime and not being caught. But overall, you know what I mean? So if you're a good soccer player, like Messi, for instance, Messi should like himself very much. That he is good, but he should not watch his games like, oh my God, what I did, I destroyed him. Now that tells you he has this narcissistic trait very much inflated. But I don't know how many times over and over. If I would get shot in the ear in that thing, I would look at it and I would look at it, my God, how close I was. Do you think I'm going to look only one time? I don't watch my videos, for instance. I rarely watch my videos. I don't know, maybe in my entire YouTube thing, I don't know if I watched 20 of my videos, maybe 20 of my videos, and that because it was brought to my attention by other people. Hey, look at that, and I cared for their assessment, and I looked into that. I didn't like, oh God, look at me, ain't I funny? Not like that. Even though we have this kind of traits, don't you want to be in the center of attention? If you say no, why would you be at the fringe? Why'd you be outside? You want to be, but you have to deserve it, right? But anyway, so here it is. They try to make it PTSD and so on. Donald Trump has watched a video clip of the attempt of his life at a Pennsylvania rally over and over again. How many? 50 times? 1,000 times? 7 times? Leading to fears, by whom and how many, he may be suffering from PTSD. Well, if you have PTSD, you don't watch it over and over because that stressed you out, so that's imbecilic. Post-traumatic stress disorder. This is what it is. So if I have that, it's like you have a guy who was in a war, right? He got shot at, explosions. You bring him to I don't know, to the hospital, and he keeps watching. He wants to watch this kind of shit that actually caused him to have PTSD. Isn't that imbecilic? No, you want to keep him away from the stress that caused his mental state to deteriorate in the PTSD. So why would he watch it? Ping! It doesn't work that way, my boy. One, he might be narcissistic, but you can't have PTSD and look at the same thing that caused your pain, unless you come with a Stockholm syndrome, which is totally different. But you understand? If I'm stressed of something, I don't go over there and watch that over and over. It creates what? Masochistic pleasure. Maybe he's a masochist now. Now let's go to the makers of our politics, which are these guys. Fortune. Goldman Sachs says voters are shifting to Kamala Harris. Who are you guys to say that? I'm not saying they should not be allowed, but this is Goldman Sachs, an American multinational, American because he's located in the United States of America, multinational, international, investment bank and financial service company. That's it. That's it, my friends. This is what these guys are. And they tell us that Kamala Harris, voters shift. Who are you? Kamala Harris has pulled ahead of Donald Trump. I don't believe these things whatsoever. In national polls, as voters turn away from third parties and the odds of a blue wave increases, according to Goldman Sachs. Okay, all right, and we go here. Profile. Open secrets. Goldman Sachs campaign donations, my friends. Here you have contributions. Let's do it like this, and let's take my melon out. Right there. Total contribution by party of recipient. Reds are Republicans, blues are the Democrats. 2012, right there, almost 6 million. But you see, they both get more or less. Here the Republicans got more. Here the Democrats, this is the Democrats, Republicans, Democrats. You see? So these guys are in million dollars. So 2 million right here. These guys gave this much money to both. Why? So they can have the same idiots in their pocket, in case they win. Total contribution by source of funds. Individuals, soft, PACs. And you have here contributions by party of recipient. Cycle 2024, total $3 million almost. 3 million right there. Democrats 1 million, which is 36% of the total donations. And the Republicans 1,689,196, which is 64%, right? But you can look in the past, as I showed you right here, 54 to 40 papa pp, 74 to 20 some. So they have both 50 to 50 almost. They have them in their hands. So these are the guys without whom you can't win elections. That tells you that public opinion doesn't really matter. You have to shape it somehow. And how do you shape it? With money. Money coming from where? From these businesses doing what? Owning media outlets. And when you own a media outlet, that media outlet would tell what you like to have them tell us. And then they throw money into campaigns. In other countries, you will call that bribery. But nevertheless, you throw money in that, and then you get elected, and then it's democracy. Things could be changed, my friends. Now, this is the last article. Why Kamala Harris' laugh is a secret weapon. No, it's not. She's just an infantile. That's what it is. It gives her time to try to think. And this article from Deutsche Welle, from South Africa, okay, there she is, beautiful. All right. I call her Laughing Kamala. So obviously he's an imbecile and she is great. And you have here, you can watch it on your own. Humor can be disarming because she thinks, man, she's so deep that these guys from Deutsche Welle have to explain to you that he can disarm you. Yeah, that's true. Believe me. And if you don't believe me, I don't know, just keep looking. She is not thinking that far whatsoever. How do I know that? I listened to her talk about subjects, topics. She is not there. She's very low, very low. So if you think that she somehow is a genius in that, her secret weapon that Deutsche Welle just brought to our attention, please, my friends. And I will tell you about the Nung Kung again. Nung Kung, I said this a few times. So let's see what these guys are saying here, more than that. Humor does not equal loss of power. No, she's strong. The fear of laughter is archaic. Yeah, we all identify and it's attracting and all that. To laugh or not to laugh, it depends, right? Laughter in different regions of the world, you see, but she is an international because she's Indian and African American. Oh, what's up, buddy? The cat just burst in here, push the door. Humor is genetic. See, all that, she's a natural woman. Like Aretha Franklin's song, whatever it was, Natural Woman. So let me tell you about Nung Kung. When I was in college in the United States of America, in one of my classes, and we had a professor, and he made us buy and discuss the Nung Kung book, which there were some smart people, but a little bit smart in a certain educated people, but in a different way. They went to, oh, he's coming, bring your little toy. Went to a real tribe in, I don't know, way back in our development. And they were studying their trance. They were going in trance by using all kind of, how do you call that, hallucinatory herbs and all that. And then they were having a trance. And these guys, educated people from the United States of Americas, but in the 60s, I think it was, which was the change of United States of America brought by the Frankfurt School, right? Anyway, in here and then in France and then in here and then garbage started. They started trying to interpret these backward individuals' reactions, giving them Socratian, Platonian and Aristotelian interpretation of their deep little... That's what it was. And they were giving it. Oh my God, these guys are so deep. Aristotle was garbage, man. Plato was garbage compared with these guys right here. So these guys were giving an interpretation with something that was not there. I said it in front of the whole class and professor. The professor was like, ugh. And I'll tell you another example. How you make these kind of things. Remember that movie, which is a parody, The Life of Brian, when he is the guy who some idiots in those times identify him as the Messiah, and they all follow him. And he's not a Messiah, but because they in their head, like these guys in the educated Westerners, they thought that that's something. It was nothing there. Just some people, backward people, getting drugged and peeing themselves, pooping themselves, and acting. And these guys were, I wonder, with all their knowledge given by their Western education, trying to interpret something that was nothing to interpret. So remember the life of Brian? When Brian, this guy that was identified as a Messiah by the guys, by zealots, he's running from the crowd, and while he's running so fast, he's losing one of his sandals. But he can't turn back to get the sandal because the crowd is coming to get him as the Messiah. So he leaves the sandal and leaves. And then this guy stopped. A sandal. Now, the fact was just the guy was running so fast, he lost the sandal, and he was afraid to pick it up because these guys would grab him. So he left. Now the interpretation of the baboons, those guys, that's a sign. I wonder what's the sign. And they're trying to interpret something that was not there. He ran, dropped the sandal, and left. They were trying to interpret. The same was with Nung Kung, the same thing with this Kamala Harris, Nung Kung, and the freaking laughter. She is, what was the title? Secret weapon, man. She's so deep. Nothing deep about her because you don't look at her just like this. You look for an entirety. Look how she behaves. Look how how she processes information, how she synthesizes or make a synthesis of information and reaches the conclusion. Below 86 IQ. Nung Kung. I think that's how I'm going to call Kamala Harris from now on. Nung Kung. You can find it on YouTube, on Wikipedia. I still have the book. It's a good one. Thank you very much for being with me again today. Stay strong, stay smart, look for the truth, and be just.